Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining today. This is Bonfrey from L World. You're watching FOE Advance. And today we are going to show you what a leveling party looks like. So a friend of mine that I've been working with in our world wants to take his arc up from level 20 to approximately level 70. And so we are going to do that in a short amount of time. And I wanted to demonstrate in this video how that works. So right now, what's happening is Nick, the guy that we're helping out, has arranged for 5 players to be assigned positions that they'll take on every single slot when he opens his arc. Then we will immediately fill it on based on our position and the math that we've committed to. In this case, I'm paying 193 on P1. And then a couple of other players are paying above 190 for their positions. And then on down to the lower levels, probably 3 through 5, those players are probably paying 190 on the FP contribution. So it's a good deal for Nick, because not only is he going to just massively age up or level up his arc, probably 50 levels tonight with the calculations he did. He needed to have a certain number of 1,000 FP on hand to do that for his contribution, but he no doubt used the calculator that I've talked about before, and I can link that up. But that calculator can help you plan how much FP you need on hand in your bank to get your GB up from wherever you're at to wherever you want to be, based on the percentage of contribution of your investors. So the idea here is that within probably a 15-minute time frame, he's just going to, keep posting the building, keep opening it up, keep leveling it, repost the math. And so I think he is going to, once we start, which we're about to, we're just waiting on the 5th person. And this is always the frustration, if I use the word frustration, with setting up a leveling party, because it's all volunteer based. I mean, it's like, hey, let's do this on Saturday at 10 p.m. server time. And shit happens in real life, and sometimes people can't make it. So what Nick was smart to do in this case is he's got backups. So he had primaries identified. 4 of the 5 primaries are here, but also some backups are here. So this was a really, really smart move on his part. And I think that that's actually what's happening right now. You can see, hey, do you want to take 3rd? So whoever was planning to be here for 3rd probably had something come up in real life, and that's okay because Nick planned ahead for it. So that's cool. So then once this party gets started, so to speak, Nick is going to open his arc for the next level. So he's going to be going from 20 to 21 to start off, and then he's going to copy and paste into the thread what his he'll show the math. So one way to do it is if you say, hey, I know I'm 193 on P1 every time it comes up, every time it levels, I can just sit here with a calculator and figure out what 193 is and do the math pretty quickly and lay down the FP. But in the case of Nick, I think he said he was going to go ahead and copy paste the math for each position based on their said contribution that he arranged in advance. So there's a couple things really to take from this. Several things. One is, instead of taking months to get your arc from one place to the next and you have a bunch of FP stored, why not, set up a leveling party with your guild or your friends and do this in a very short amount of time. In a matter of 15 minutes, you're like, boom, I'm just getting this done. So that's one thing. The other thing is to negotiate, find higher level players that will talk to you, that will friend you, message you, ask them questions, get to know them, show some interest in the game and in some growth, whether they're in your guild, out of your guild, whatever. And then, there's an option to kind of negotiate with them to see, hey, well, would you pay 191 or would you pay 192 and, so on. So I got to type and tell them I'm ready to go. So we're about to start, and it looks like everyone's here, and Nick is going to go ahead and paste whatever he's going to paste. So there's one other kind of unspoken or possibly spoken rule here with this situation, and that is that it's considered bad form, if not just shitty, to try to trigger RQs in between adding FP that are FP spend related RQs, recurring quests, because it slows things down. So depending on how quick you are, how many RQs you have to click through, the deal is like just don't do it. Like just don't try to leverage RQs when you're doing a leveling party, unless everybody's like, yeah, let's all do RQs, and let's have this take an hour instead of 15 minutes. If that's the upfront contract, then cool, everybody do RQs. So I'm going to pause for just a moment, and like he's just, well, maybe I don't need to pause because he's showing right now, okay, this is your assigned positions for the leveling party. So however many levels he runs, however many FPs, I mean, he basically told us, hey, I want to try to go from 20 to 70 today. We'll see where it is once it goes. And then he also is trying to help out other guild members or friends that also want to jump on to get medals and also prints. So he's arranged for one of these 5 to dump out at level 40, and then this player will jump on at level 40 so that that player can benefit also from the leveling party, because if you're trying to gather prints and you're trying to gather medals, this is a great way to do that very quickly. It's just a win-win all around. So it's just it's awesome in that regard. So he's not posting math, so I'm just gonna have to get my calculator out, and that's fine. I like to use a big button analog calculator because I'm old and practically blind. So I'm just gonna, try to pump out the math as fast as I can. So 270 at 0.93 is 251. So I'm gonna drop 270 on there. I actually have a 10 key on my left hand that I like to use to speed this up a little bit because I snipe a lot. And that way I don't have to take my right hand off the mouse and my left hand can just, do the thing. So anyway, they're like, hey, where are you? That's because I keep talking and trying to do 2 things at once. But anyway, I'm on. So now all he has to do is do his thing. Okay, so it's time for him to add his piece of the FP needed to flip the building. Technically, it's vulnerable to snipe. In this very small time window, depending on how fast everybody puts their FP on. But honestly, in a leveling party, I've never seen anyone get sniped. It's happening quick. Lots of people are dogpiling on, and you would just be kind of crazy to if you didn't see that, I suppose you could end up losing out if you're actually trying to snipe. So, but anyhow, so here we go. So 290. I did my calc with my big button calculator. And I'm at 270 rounding up. So there we are. So it's nice when there's someone else. So one of the better executed leveling parties that I've seen had like a 6th person that wasn't contributing FP handle all the copy paste of the math calculations. So if you use the Forge great building leveling calculator, like there's a utility out there that you can go to, and then basically each level that you want to bring up the building, you can show the what the contribution would be. So in this case, like maybe I can I don't know if I should try to find this during the video or not, but anyway, so in the case, let's just say he's going from 22 to 23. So I put in 23. And then you can show, like, I'm a 9.3 investor. I think the other guy is like a 9.25 investor, or 9. Yeah, I'm just going to go 9. I think 0.5 that. So basically, you can plug this in for each level, and then you can copy and paste. It automatically gives you these copy paste options. And then, so if the person that is, they're still okay, on to the next level. All right, so 305. But I wanted to show you this like live, even though this is a little bumpy in terms of production value, because it's this is like a really cool thing to learn. And it's been one of the critical ways that I've seen both for myself to grow as well as other players to grow, younger players. I mean, it's not out of the question between swaps or if you're an investor that, you do maybe there's a whole lot of ways to build your bank. And I'll probably do a whole other video on like, hey, here's the top ways to build your bank, because there's a ton of ways to do it depending on your gameplay style. But I just, again, wanted to outline this. So if you had a 6-person kind of working this whole thing, and like each time the building leveled up, they would go here and they go, okay, copy paste. Everyone's math is over here. And then they just paste it into the thread and they're like, yeah, this is cool, So that's essentially what the let me just go back to full screen here. All right. So that's what that does. And again, I can post the link to that, and already vaporized on me, if you're interested. So, well, I'll post it whether you're interested or not. All right, here we go. Don't forget to collect after each level. I'm not sure what he means by that. Anyway, I'm just going to do my thing. I'm not going to worry about what anyone else is saying for the moment. And I'll start with my 320, do my math, 298. I probably could have done that in my head, but when things are moving along, I don't like to trust myself. So, especially with the odd numbers, it's easy to do like a 190 in your head or a 180, but 193 is a little bit hectic depending on how left brainy you may or may not be. So, anyway, it's interesting. So, I think the most fun you can have in a leveling party is if for some reason there's an opportunity to get everyone on a Discord channel and you can kind of chat. You can go to voice, or you can share memes and stuff like that. But at the same time, a leveling party done this way really is easier. It's faster. It's very efficient, and it's great. So you get the idea. I mean, this is working for Nick. He really got past the biggest decision points of I'm gonna plan enough FP to make this happen. I'm going to reach out and make all the contacts I need to make. In this case, he had to get about 8 people committed to be around on the server in this time frame, and he pulled it off. We showed up. I'd say about half the time, someone says, "Hey, I'm gonna have a leveling party," and people say, "Yeah, I'll be there." It doesn't work out, and 4 of the 5 show up, and I think the biggest mistake that most people make on leveling parties is that they don't have backups. So, cheers to this player for arranging that, because we had one of the 5 cores not show up, and that's okay. There's nobody's being paid to be here. There's no contracts. It's just it's a game. So anyway. This is a very, very well executed leveling party, in my opinion, and it's going to be a success for Nick. And so I'm recording this as an add-on to the first part of this video. We are still in a leveling party for Nick, this player, and I decided to go ahead and start using the calculator that I mentioned in the last video in order to help everyone with the calcs. So I mentioned that sometimes there's a 6th player that does that, but if you're fast enough and you have 2 monitors, it's not as hard to go ahead and copy paste using the tool that I was showing you earlier. So I'm going to bring that up, and that's the Foe.Tools, Foe.Tools, which is like not a .com, but it's .tools, and then the GB investment, and in this case the ARC. You can choose any GB that you want to work on. And then as we go along and age up, all I have to do is just hit this plus button. I've already got the contributions laid out 1 through 5 here. So in my case, I'm giving 93. The second, the P2 commitment player is giving 92.5, and the rest are at 90. So this makes it very fast. So as I just go up, like the next level will be 52, I think. And then I'm just going to choose this. There's different options for how you want to present this in the thread, But for the speed leveling or, power leveling, I like this second option, which is like 51 to 52. Here's what everybody's, doing, copy. And then I run this on my left monitor because I run dual monitors. And then I will show that once it's ready. So again, the way to signal that you have leveled the GB and you're ready for the next, the next commit, the next fill, the signal is to post the building, so that when you see this, we can see that someone hasn't filled yet on one of the positions, right? So I'm looking at this and it looks like P5 needs to be filled. And then once 5 is filled, Nick will add his remaining FP, flip the building, and we'll be good to go. Okay, so now P5 is clearly filled, and then hopefully he'll just repost the building, and I'm just going to type for the next level, because there's a variety of players on here that, some people were struggling earlier with the calcs and things like that. No big deal. This is just a nice way to help out if you have the technology and you're fast enough to do that and post the calcs. So now this lays out nicely. I've posted the calcs, and then I can just go in and use that to my benefit. I just know I don't have to run my big button calculator or anything like that. So I just kind of decided to do a different version of what I was doing earlier. I was using my calc to do manually, which is fine. If it's a few levels, no big deal. But Nick decided to do like 20 levels, so I'm like, all right, I should just get this, this other tool up over here on my left screen as I was showing you, this thing. And it just makes everything so much easier. It's just super fast. This is very standardized for all of the GBs that are available in the game. And this is great, even if you're just posting your own building for leveling, right? This will give you all the calcs. So if you have a 1.9 thread in your guild, you just put your building that you're going to post, you choose the level that you're moving to, and you just copy and paste based on any of these options down here, and then you put it in your 190 thread. It's simple and pretty clear. So that's great. We're going to 53, and I keep talking, so I'm gonna go over here, and I'm gonna say I'm just trying to show you what I'm doing on my left screen actually, and then I'm gonna copy the second one as I was mentioning before. And we'll do this, that, and then we'll add the contributions. So there we are. I was obviously the one holding up the train in this case because I was doing video stuff. But anyway, now we're caught up, and you can post the next one, and I can just keep going in the same fashion. So anyway, hopefully this is helpful for the calculator part, and I'm just adding this on to the other video as a second segment that just should be built in, even though I hate editing, but hopefully I should just be able to add this second half. So anyway, I hope this was totally useful for you, because the calculator part is really handy, and I'll probably do a separate standalone video on more of a deep dive in the calculator. That's what I wanted to show you today. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I'm posting frequently, and I'm willing to make videos based on your questions, or I can clarify anything. Sometimes when I'm just jamming along like this and I'm having a gin and tonic or whatever, I don't know, I might miss something, or I might actually say something that is inaccurate, and then I'll find it later. Maybe I'll post a fix, in the comments or something. But anyway, I hope you're enjoying this. I hope it's helping you grow as a player. This is just real practical, rubber meets the road kind of stuff. So take care, and I will see you on the next video, and keep forging.